Hey everybody, it's Ashley Ray from letstalkraystyle.com bringing you another video. Happy Sunday. So today I want to discuss lies and the internet. Okay, so you know how we're always like, everything on the internet isn't true. Well, let me tell you about how you can be anybody you want to be on the internet. I mean, if you're that kind of person. So maybe a year or two ago, a friend of mine added me into this group called the Wifed Up Movement. So in the Wifed Up Movement, they basically tell women how they should date, how they should behave in order to obtain a husband. Now, the owner of the group, or the founder of the group, has an article in the Huffington Post discussing how she obtained her fiance. It says that it was her fiance at the time, but this woman is basically saying that she is married and that this is why she's married, because she's followed these things. She offers one-on-one coaching for $2,000. She has a Facebook group and then that's free, and then she has another group called the Feminine Lounge, where people pay to become a member and get advice from her. Let's start off by saying, one, she's not married, and she created a fake profile of the person that she's allegedly married to, or that she's saying that she's married to, because we know that she's not actually married. So she's been kicking everybody out of the Facebook group that has asked her about this situation, which proves your guilt just in that alone, because why not just say, this isn't true, or whatever the case may be. Anyway, I have always had an issue with this group from day one, because the things that her name is Angela Holcomb, by the way. So if you see anything of hers, don't join it. Don't pay her to do anything, because she's living a fabricated life. She is not married. She's not married, period. Okay, so anyhow, I'm going to just give you all an example. So they totally demonize feminists, which a lot of people do, but not to this degree. So one day I posted in the group, because they're always discussing femininity and how this attracts men, and some of the things that they have stated in the group about femininity and things of that nature only. Some of them are actually okay, like good advice, sort of. So I posted one day that femininity and feminists are not enemies. How you can be both, they have the same base word. And if people, actually look at the definition of a feminist, we all are feminists. Oh my God. You would have thought that this was about to be the apocalypse, because it turned into a big roaring mess. I ended up getting into a confrontation, verbal of course, because this is all via the Facebook group, with her main moderator. Her name is Bianca, and she tried to come for me, like basically saying that I wasn't feminine and this is a problem. And I'm like, you're the one that is exuding this masculine energy towards me. I'm just stating, what my feelings are about this particular subject. And she's like, no, she really got mad because I called her masculine. And she's like, I'm not masculine. She was really going toe to toe with me. And if anybody's in a Facebook group and they have moderators, you know that is not the job of the moderator. But she was just very offended. But she offended me, and Bianca is not married either. So you have these single women giving out information about dating, which is nothing wrong with that, because I give out dating information as well. But here is the difference. My information actually comes from men, and I'm not pretending to be a married woman. I am being my authentic self. I am Ashley Ray. I am single. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not telling somebody something based off of an illusion of my life. So that is a huge difference. Like, how can you be teaching a wifed up movement, and you're not even wifed up. You're not a wife. And I just find this very interesting. And some of these women in this group are, it's like a cult. It really, really is. It's this one moderator named Lauren who always you can clearly tell that she either didn't get attention as a kid, still doesn't get the attention that she desires, and that she is a damn liar. Like, these long fabricated stories that she always had, like, who wants to read that on Facebook in a group? I mean, when I say a thesis on a conversation that she's had with some dude, we don't even care. Like, seriously, it's crazy. Anyway, I just had to bring this to my blog because I just want people to be very careful of what they listen to and the things that they buy into on the internet. This lady is living a whole ass lie, and a friend of mine actually talked to the guy that she says that she is married to. Like, just so you don't think that I'm blowing smoke. It's just crazy. There was one more story that I wanted to touch on that happened in the group, and I'm drawing a blank right now. Jesus. Oh, two things. Okay. So one thing that I do not like, I never liked, and I never will like, and I don't care who it's coming from. They are always being facetious and derogatory about single moms or baby mothers, okay? However you want to put it. My thing is, you don't know what every situation is. It's not even your business. The fact of the matter is, you respect people because you respect women, and you definitely respect mothers, right? They are constantly tearing down baby mothers. Oh, she's just a baby mama. She's not a wife. And you are like, are you kidding me? That was the feel of the group. Like, you can't possibly tell me anything about any subject if this is how you act, behave, and respond about other women that are in a particular situation. That is not cool. That is not empowerment. But then again, the group is not about empowerment. They shun independence. And that was another thing for me. They discussed how it's harder for Black women to find a husband because they're masculine and they're gloating and being independent and running their own business, etc. So my question was, so should we starve until we find a husband? Like, should we be living in shelters? Should we not display or go for success because it's going to be intimidating to a potential candidate of a husband? Because in my mind, that means that man or men are not masculine and are not secure within themselves. So that's a whole nother issue. And then I expressed like how Black women have pretty much always had to work because Black men, married or not, never brought home the amount of money to, not all, but many, especially back in the day, did not make enough money to support their whole household because they didn't get equal pay. They still don't get equal pay. So 9 times out of 10, Black women worked as housekeepers, as maids, whatever nannies they had to do in order to make ends meet. And she was just like, well, that's not true. And I'm like, actually, it is true. Like, I'm not pulling information out of my ass. This is from education. This is from reading statistics. Like, this is actually real life. And a lot of this goes along to images that are portrayed to Black people on TV, especially back in the day. You see a white family on TV. You saw white families on TV where the husband went to work and the mom stayed home. That has not been the reality of a lot of Black families. Do you know what I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. So with that image being portrayed, that left like a negative taste in the mouth of some Black women that actually had to go to work, but really their husbands just didn't make the money to be able to support their whole household. And I'm sorry, not to get off track, but I'm just talking about like topics that came up within the group and how I'm just like, yeah, no, that's not necessarily true. Anyway, they never liked me in the group, which is fine because I'm just not for fluff and BS. Like, you can totally be a feminine woman with whatever that means to you and get what you want, or you cannot be a feminine. I know plenty of women that aren't considered feminine, or they don't consider themselves feminine, that are married and are happy with their husbands and their lives, etc. So here is the real tea. Be who you are, and who you want to be with and who wants to be with you are going to accept you for who you are. You don't need a book. You don't need anyone telling you what you should and should not be doing. And as I always say, I've said this many times in writings on my blog and in videos, most of the time women learn about men from other women, and women don't really know men. And that was something else that I brought up in the group. I asked, because this Angela person has a book. I'm not even going to get into that. Anyway, I asked in the group, had anyone in the group read books written by men discussing dating and relationships? Because that's important. You know, we know what our perspective and perceptions are, we as in women, but what we're trying to do is learn and understand men. And you can't get that information from another woman because she is not a man. And they were like, no, I haven't read any other books. I haven't read any books by men about dating and relationships. Just Angela's book. And it's like, okay. So it's interesting to see how some of these women feel, knowing that they have been duped by this woman who is not married, who is actually a pathological liar, clearly. But hey, you can be anything you want to be on the internet, including married, I guess. Why you would want to lie about that, I have no idea. Like, you can't possibly be your true self or authentic self when you're waking up every day preaching to a bunch of women. Like, this is a large group, and you're living a whole complete lie. It's crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy. But anyway, that's it. I just wanted to bring you all this video. So you can be anything you want to be on the internet, but it's always best to be you. It's best to be yourself. All right. So as always, smooches.